Well, good morning guys, and thanks for tuning in again. Well, it's certainly been a while since I did a YouTube vlog, but I thought it was about time to get out and do another one. So I'm on the south coast of New South Wales at a place called Bermagui. Behind me here, I'm not sure if you can see, it's still quite dark, is a pretty well-known landmark called Camel Rock. Yesterday I grabbed my caravan and came for a trip down the coast. Going to go on the road for a couple of days and just have a bit of a relax and try and do a bit of photography. So out for sunrise this morning. It's still about 35-40 minutes away from sunrise. First light is in about probably in about 10 minutes time. There's a bit of a swell around this morning in the sea, probably about I'd say about a 2 metre swell, and the tide's on its way out. It's going to be a low tide probably in about another hour, about an hour from now. So no real plans this morning, just come out and see how we go. Got my trusty Explorer tripod here. I'm going to shoot with my Canon R5 and my wide angle lens, my 15 to 35. The cloud forecast was for about 65% medium and high cloud. There is some high cloud around, or I don't know if I'd call it high cloud, it's more medium cloud. There also is quite a bit of there's quite a bit of sort of mist in the air. I guess you'd call it sea mist. It's quite humid, it's probably 20 degrees Celsius. So I don't know what the weather's going to do. It's a little bit hard to say whether we'll get any amazing conditions or not, but we'll go out and have a look, see how we go, and hopefully we can get a few good images for you. So I'm starting out with my Canon R5 and my 15 to 35 wide angle. Conditions are actually looking pretty good. There's a bit of glow in the sky out to the left. It's sort of just gone first light. Nice bit of swell in the water here in the foreground. Just sat on a rock for probably 5 or 6 minutes and just watched quite a few sets of waves. I just wanted to get a handle on what the swell was doing. I don't want to cop a rogue wave and have all my gear wet, which has happened to me in the past. I drowned a camera once. So yeah, I'm just going to sort of work my way forward here. The good thing, as I said, is the fact that the tide's actually going out. So, you know, the water level's not going to get any higher than what it is now. So I'm just going to start taking some shots. I'll just work my way forward here, see what I can find. Start off, I don't know how I'll go shutter speed. I'll just show you what I've got here. Spin my camera around. I got my new atoll on the camera here, which is a pretty cool invention. This thing that just allows you to flip the camera from landscape to portrait mode. And I've got a variable ND filter, just a screw-on one on there, which is a 1 to 5 stop. I probably won't need that at the moment. I'm probably looking for a shutter speed somewhere between a half a second and 1 second to start out with. I'm just going to work my way into it. I might put the GoPro on my chest and yeah, just work you through what I'm doing as we go along. One thing that I'm always carrying with me, especially when I'm doing seascapes, is one of these things, a microfiber cloth. You get a huge amount of sea spray on your gear. A lot of the time you can't even see the sea spray. It's actually on my glasses already. So it's always handy to have one of these microfiber cloths with you, just so you can wipe your lenses, wipe your filters, keep your gear clean so that you don't get blurry images. Few mosquitoes around this morning. They love these little rock pools. Okay. Well, don't know if you guys can see this little rock pool in front of me here, but I think I'm going to start out here and just see how I go. Okay, just going to start off with a pretty simple frame here, f11. Rock pools in the foreground here. The sea stacks at the back, obviously. I haven't got a grad filter on for the sky. I don't think I'll need that. I'm still at 10 seconds here at f11, which is not favourable, so I might pump my ISO up a little bit. I don't want too much of a long exposure just yet. Maybe we might look at that a bit later, but at the moment I want to try and keep my shutter speed relatively quick. Smooth the water out just that tiny bit, but still have that little bit of texture in the water as well. So we'll see how we go here. I'm probably going to shoot about a stop to a stop and a half underexposed here, just so that I don't clip the sky. So I'm at 1 second there, so we'll try that. I didn't turn my 2-second timer on, so I need to turn that on. Go in there and do that. I don't like to touch the camera when the shutter fires. Something else I just remembered, I need to check my stabilisation on my lens, make sure it's switched off, which it is. Always just double check that when I'm shooting on a tripod. So 1 second there, ISO 400 f11, just took a frame there. Composition's like pretty good. I might just try and tweak it a little bit. I'd prefer a bit slower shutter speed, so I'm just going to experiment with that as well. I might even take it out to f16 just to get a little bit more depth of field, and I'm probably going to push the ISO up. What do we got there? ISO 640. I'll often move my focus point on the back of the camera up to the bright part of the sky just to see how it meters there. The other thing you can do obviously is look at your histogram, just to make sure that you're not going to clip those highlights, which I am there. So I'll just back that off a bit, to about there. That should be fine. We're going to get 1 second there again. Just repositioned. I'm just tweaking my composition a little bit. I'll try and talk you through it. I can get a bit high here on these rocks. I've just moved a bit to the right. I think this gap over here between the rocks and the sea stacks was too tight, so I've moved a bit to the right just to try and open that up a bit, position the sea stacks in the middle. Probably get a little bit less mid-ground. I probably had a little bit too much mid-ground, so just lowering the tripod a little bit. This one looks a bit better. Pretty much sunrise soon. Doesn't look like we're going to get any colour in the sky. I'm already thinking that I'll probably just take a few frames of this little rock pool. I might try some long exposures, go for that dark and moody look. I'm not loving the clouds, but a long exposure could definitely look good, so I'll experiment with that in a minute. I might even get down closer to that moving water and really try and get some water movement in the foreground probably end up getting wet to do that, but I might try that next after I've got this shot in the bank. Righto, so I've moved. I prefer this position. I still don't know that I've got the composition right yet, but I'm going to just tweak it and see how I go. You can probably see got that rock in front of me. I've just got a bit closer to the water. I want this moving water in my foreground. There has been a few waves coming over this rock right in front of me here, but as I said before, the tide's actually on its way out, so I just keep sure-footed here. Everything should be fine. There's some glow in the sky now out there to the left, so I'll keep shooting. Just opted for the wet weather gear. The rain's come in. It's a challenging morning, but that's photography for you. I think I've still got a few decent shots, so I'm not about to give up. Just come back over here, put my wet weather jacket on, and I'll reposition back over here and see what I can come up with. I did sort of get one wave that hit my camera, so it's not too bad. Just a bit of spray on it. I'm just wiping it down now, so I think it'll be fine. These Canon cameras these days are pretty well weather sealed, so hopefully it's going to be fine. Yeah, still some really nice light out to sea, sort of more, I guess, more straight out to the east. So I'm just going to reposition down here in the rocks behind me, down here, and see what I can come up with. I was hoping to try a long exposure, so I'll just see how I go. The rain's a little bit tricky to keep off your lens, so I'll persevere and see what I can come up with. Continuing to shoot here, I really want to try and get a shot with some good water movement in the foreground. I may have got something, I'm not sure, still persevering here. I've moved myself out onto this rock here. I'm definitely getting wet. This one could be a good one. That one came up to about the waist. Really inconsistent, these sets too. It'll be completely calm. Some of these are looking alright actually, so we'll keep persevering. Another one. So I've changed my settings. Obviously it's a lot lighter than it was before. I'm at f16, 0.6 of a second, so I think they call that 0.6 of a second. It's the next shutter speed past half a second. I kind of like it. It always gives a nice texture to the water. Just looking through the images there now, there might be something there. Looks like I've got some water on my lens, so I better clean that. Yeah, so I'm just using a screw-on ND filter. It's a 1 to 5 stop. Let's get this shot. Missed it. Yeah, 1 to 5 stop ND, and I'm just trying to control that shutter speed. I'm shooting at f16. I'm using auto ISO. It's really all about that shutter speed, trying to get that right water movement, so everything else comes second. It's the shutter speed that counts. The right shutter speed, the right wave can really make the image look good. Here comes another big one. We'll see how we go here. Shoot now. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Bit of texture in the foreground. Alright, yeah, so it's just all about that shutter speed. So I'm just going to wipe my lens here now, make sure I don't have water all over my lens. The rain has stopped, which is good. A couple of girls just walked past me a second ago. They're behind me here. They seem to be climbing their way around to Horsehead Rock for a swim. So they're incredibly keen, that's for sure. Comes another big wave out the back. Time it right. Oh, that could be alright. That looks alright. Yeah, so I've just been walking out and I found this here. I sort of like this sand texture in the foreground. I've just had a look at it on the wide angle and it actually looks pretty good. The mid-ground here is a little bit concerning, like you've got those rocks in the mid-ground that almost sort of break up or interfere with the composition between the foreground and the background, but I think if I get a bit higher, get the tripod up fairly high, it could work. So I'm going to grab a shot of it. I'll probably try a 6 or a 10 stop filter and try it as a long exposure just to simplify the scene a bit and just see how it goes. But it's definitely worth a shot, that's for sure. So I'm going to try a 2-minute exposure with a 10 stop ND filter. We'll see how that pans out. That's a 15 stop ND filter. Where is my 10 stop ND filter? There it is. So I've calculated this to be 2 minutes and 8 seconds. I'm at f14. My base exposure was 1/8 of a second. So we'll see how this goes. 2 minutes and 8 seconds. I've got the Canon R5, so I can use the bulb timer, which is a really handy setting in this camera. I just need to turn on the bulb mode. 2 minutes and 8 seconds. And off we go. So in the end I decided to go with the black and white in this image. I didn't really think that the colour did much for the image, and it actually is easier to look at as a black and white image. What really stood out for me in this scene right from the outset was that beautiful sand texture and that really strong contrast in the foreground. And I think in black and white that really makes that foreground stand out even more. I really would love to know what you guys think of this image, so please go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this black and white image. Well guys, that's a wrap on today's video. I hope you've enjoyed tuning in. It's been a while since I've done a YouTube vlog. Pretty cool morning all in all. I probably already might have showed you a couple of images by now, but if I haven't, I'll show you any bonus images here at the end. Worthwhile getting out of bed, coming out. I bought this new GoPro. I've had it for a while. I've just been too lazy to get up early and do these summer sunrises. But it was worth coming out this morning. I got very wet, but definitely worth the effort. So hopefully this year I can bring a few more vlogs to you. I've got a very busy schedule this year with workshops and all that sort of stuff, but I'm certainly hoping to do a little bit more of this sort of stuff. So as I always say on my videos, if you've enjoyed the video, please go ahead, do me a big favor and leave a comment down below. It really helps. And if you enjoy my video, then also go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's about it from me, signing off here. Thanks for tuning in. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you all again soon.